अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। मंगलाचरण ऑफ तत्वार्थ सूत्र। मोक्ष मार्गस्य नेतारम भेतारं कर्म भूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये। So great Acharya Umaswamy has written this Tattvat Sutra, and we were on to page number 20 yesterday. From there only we will start again. So we were discussing between Samaisar and Tattvat Sutra. Okay, what is the difference between the two? So the conclusion was that there is not a difference of opinion, it is just a difference of perspective. Okay, so so in Samaisar, the right faith was defined as the understanding of the 9 fundamental elements purely through real point of view. Whereas in Tattvarth Sutra, it has been described as a faith in Tattvarthas. Okay, so it also means the same, only the terminology is different, but the meaning is the same. That was the conclusion. Now coming on to the page number 20, in the middle, we are going to start the search for the essence. Subhaji, you
Yes.
have with you?
Yeah, I have the PDF with me.
The soft copy?
Yeah, I have it, G. I don't have soft copy. I have only PDF with me.
Okay, I am only reading.
I can read it, G.
The search for the essence.
I can read it, G. I have the printout with me.
1 minute. Huh? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, G.
Okay, okay. So the search for the essence of the soul's radiance, wherever possible, is precisely the function of the real viewpoint. Okay. So what is the main theme of Samaisarji Granth? The main theme of Samaisarji was the sole focus is to discover the radiant inner light of the soul, shining through all tattvas. So in Hindi we call it as सात तत्व में छुपी हुई आत्म ज्योति को पहचानना. In English we called the sole focus is to discover, pehchanna, to discover the radiant inner light of the soul, Prakashman, Atma Jyoti, shining through all the tattvas. So all the tattvas are just a kind of role. And who is the real actor behind all these? The pure soul. Okay. And that pure soul is being referred to as the Atma Jyoti, light of the soul. The search for the essence of the soul's radiance, Atma Jyoti, wherever possible is precisely the function of the real viewpoint, real point of view. Okay. So what does real point of view does? It takes you to the pure soul. Okay. So that is the function of the real point of view. It will take you to the pure soul all the time. That is the only function of the real point of view. What is the function of the conventional point of view? The conventional point of view's primary function is to divide the indivisible mass called soul and explain it so that you are able to recognize it. That is the purpose. So it is only this real viewpoint that can accomplish such a profound task. Okay. Conventional will not be able to help you in focusing in the pure soul. Okay. Therefore, right at the beginning of the Samaisar, in the very 13th verse, it is declared that the 9 fundamental elements as known through the real viewpoint alone constitute right faith or right belief. Okay. So what is right belief? In Samaisar it is said that the clear-cut understanding of the 9 fundamental elements is right faith. Okay. And subsequently the inquiry into all tattvas is also presented from this very viewpoint. Okay. So all the 7 fundamental elements have been explored from this viewpoint only, from the real point of view only. And when we say real point of view, the um, the main function of the real point of view is to precisely focus on the pure soul. Okay, to discover pure soul among the tattvas. So though throughout the text, it is the soul's inner light, Atma Jyoti, that is being sought. Okay. As for the difference between the numbers of tattvas 7 and 9, this is not a real issue. In the Tattvat Sutra, merit and demerit, punya and pap, are included within influx and bondage, whereas in Samaisar, they are mentioned separately. So that is the only difference. So in Samaisar, we call it as 9 fundamental elements, and in Tattvat Sutra, we are calling it as 7 fundamental elements. In various scriptures, there are different definitions of right faith, Samyak Darshan, among which 4 are prominent, which are as follows. The faith in the principles of soul, non-soul is the right faith. Then the second, the faith in the knowledge of the self and non-self is the right faith. So self is yourself and everything else comes into the category of non-self. Then the self-faith is the right faith. And the fourth one is the faith in true Dev Shastra Guru, or the faith in the true Dev Guru righteousness, that is Dharma, is the right path. So right path has been defined in 4 different ways, but all 4 these are interconnected. Okay. So if you have the right belief regarding the Dev Shastra Guru, that means you are also having a right belief among the 7 fundamentals. And that also means that you have the faith in the knowledge of the self and the non-self. And that also means that you have the faith in your self. Okay. So all those 4 are as a characteristics, it is different. All the 4 are different, but all are interconnected. So when we say faith in the 7 fundamentals, it also includes faith in the true Dev Shastra Guru. It also includes faith in the self and the non-self. It also includes faith in the self. Okay. So all 4 are interconnected. If one is there, other 3 will always be there. And if one is not there, other 3 will always be not there. In the relevant section of Moksha Marg Prakashak, 9th chapter, these 4 characteristics of right belief is mentioned in the 9th chapter. Not only is a reasoned and harmonious integration established among the 4 definitions of right faith, but it also explains why the definition of faith in the fundamental principles or elements found in the Tattvad Sutra is given primacy. Why it is being highlighted, why it is being discussed prominently. Okay. Although the word darshan generally means seeing or perception, in the context of the path to liberation, the term is used in the sense of faith. So I will make you a co-host. Yes. So we are on to page number 21 now. But when we talk in the path of liberation, the term darshan is used as faith or belief. Okay. Page number 21 and yes. Slightly above, although the word darshan from there. Yeah. So Jinali, you read. Although the word darshan generally means.
1 minute, sir. Although, according to the second sutra, sir.
No. Although the word.
Okay. Although the word darsana generally means seeing or perception in the context of the path of liberation, the term is used in the sense of faith. Faith means intuitive conviction, pratiti, or belief. Thus, conviction in the Tattvartha, the true meaning of reality, is what constitutes right faith, Samyak Darshana. Without knowing the Tattvartha, conviction is not possible. This is why we will now begin discussing ways to know the Tattvartha by discussing their names. Without no, 1 minute, sir. Sir,
I think she got disconnected. Okay, I am reading now. Without knowing the Tattvartha, conviction is not possible. Okay. Are you able to hear me, no?
yes, sir.
Conviction is not possible. This is why we will now begin discussing ways to know the Tattvartha by discussing their names. Knowing the aforementioned Tattvartha, how does the genesis of their Samyak Darshan happen? Genesis means origin. Okay. Genesis means origin. Though through one's own nature or through learning, meaning through self-realization or external guidance. Now, in the upcoming sutra, we will clarify the existence of the subject. We will clarify the nature of things. Okay. Now, the next heading is origin of faith. Okay. Although according to the, now again I have to make you a co-host. Okay.
Yes, I had some electricity trip, so
Oh.
now it is.
Now we are on to page number 22. Although according to the second sutra, the discussion of the nature of reality is contextually appropriate here. Yes. Appropriate here. So now you can Jinali take over.
So, from although according to the second.
Yeah.
Although, according to the second sutra, the discussion of the nature of reality, Tattvartha, in contextually appropriate here, nevertheless, the Acharya considers it necessary to first provide guidance on the origin of right faith, Samyak Darshan, which is as follows. तन निसर्ग तन निसर्गत अधिगमद्वा. The right faith arises in two ways. First, by nature, nisarga means by one's own inherent disposition, and second, by acquisition, adhi adhigama meaning through uh,
Knowledge.
knowledge, instruction, or guidance from others.
Hmm.
Thus, from the perspective of origin, right faith is of two types: innate nisargaja and or acquired adhigamaja. Although it is an infruitable truth that without receiving preaching, desna, labdhi, right faith does not arise. Still, the difference between the innate and acquired right faith is merely this. Those who possess innate right faith had received preaching in the previous birth, and due to the impression, sanskara of that, they attain right faith in the present life even without direct instruction. Such right faith is called innate right faith, Nisargaja Samyak Darshan. The
Hmm.
living, the
So,
living.
so just stop. So there are two types of right faith. Okay, one is natural right faith, and the other one is acquired. So when we say acquired, that means we have followed someone's preachings or we have listened to the sermons of someone, and then we acquired right faith. So that is called acquired right faith. But natural means without any support, without any contact, you'd automatically develop right faith. Now, this is something very interesting in the sense that you must have this question in mind, that how can I develop right faith without any instruction, without any guidance? How it is possible? Okay. So the logic is that although in this life you have not got any guidance, any instruction, any sermons, nothing. But in the previous birth, you must have received these instructions, and you were you were putting in right efforts to understand that. In between, your age was over, so you could not manifest the right belief over there. So now in the next birth, even if you don't get any support, any sermons, any contact, still, because your effort was initiated in the previous birth, so in continuous with that effort, okay, the delusion was gradually reducing. So somehow it could not be manifested in the same birth. So in the next birth, without any guidance, also you will be able to manifest right faith without any support, and that is called natural right faith. So
Sir,
natural right faith, in a sense, is not natural right faith. It is also acquired. Only thing is that in this birth, you are not getting the context, but that does not mean that it has come to automatically to you. You have in your previous birth listened to the sermons, listened to the lecture, read the Jinwani, got the guidance, everything was there. Okay. Yeah. Any questions on this?
yes, sir. It's like Mahavir Swami got during his lion's birth and
Right.
Parshanath during his elephant birth, right?
Mhm. So in both that birth,
Huh.
there was an instruction from the monk.
Okay.
So that is not natural right faith.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
not innate right faith.
Okay.
That is again an acquired right faith, because somebody as an instrumental cause was there, no?
Right. Right. Right.
So here they are saying that you will not get any support, nothing, and
Okay.
still you will manifest right faith, and that is called natural right faith, just because you have done something in your previous birth.
Mm-hmm.
And the process was initiated. The delusion started getting reduced gradually, and somehow you could not manifest right faith in that particular birth. So in the next birth, although you have got no association of any Dev Sastra Guru, Jinwani, nothing, but still automatically you will develop right faith, because the process was already on. And in that sequence, the right time had come, and you have developed right faith. Okay, so this again goes on to prove that instrumental causes are generally a mere presence. They don't do anything in the other substance. Okay, whatever we are manifesting, it is because of our own efforts, our own principal cause. Okay, external instrumental cause just acts as a agent only. Okay, so this further uh, gives logic to belief of right faith. Okay, so now you can continue again. The same thing is being explained here. The living beings. Jinali, you continue. The living beings.
The living beings who attain right faith in this very life, though the teachings of the deity scriptures through the teachings of the deity, scriptures, preceptors, or enlightened righteous souls, their right faith is called acquired right faith. In both types of right faith, the substantial cause, upadana, is the firm conviction in the godhood of self, Nij Bhagwan Atma, experienced as one's own distinct from all external substances. Also common to both is the internal instrumental cause, antranga nimitta, which is the destruction subsidence come destruction or mere subsidence. Uh, kasayopsam and upsam of the passion with endless bondage, anantanubandhi, anger, pride, deceit, greed, and false belief. The only difference lies in the bhaya external instrumental cause. In natural right faith, Nisargaja Samyak Darshana, the external cause is the impression of the instruction received in the previous birth. In acquired right faith, Atmi Maja Samyak Darshan, the external cause is the instruction from others received in the present life. Oh dear brother, right faith is right faith, whether it arises naturally by one's own disposition or through the teachings of others. There is no difference in its essence. Here it is merely explained that some right faith arises spontaneously due to instrumental cause, the impression from previous births, while the others it arises through the noble teachings received in the company of a true teacher and a noble association, satsanga. This means that if the right faith is the activity, then the eternal substantial cause, Trikali Upadan, Karan, that determines the natural disposition is the soul itself or its attribute of faith. The immediate substantial cause, number one, Kasanika Upadan, that determines the method or process in the soul's self directed effort. Atma Mukti Pursartha in the immediately preceding moment. Anantanam Purvakasana Varti Paryay, that eliminates itself but leads to the action in the next moment. The immediate substantial cause, number two, Sanika Upadan, that determines the timing of the action in the readiness or suitability of the action to happen in the current moment. Tat samay ki yogyata. So, right faith happens when the soul has the natural capacity. It made the right inner effort just before, and the eligibility of change in that moment has arrived. In this way, the only difference between Nisargaja and Adhigamaja Samyak Darshana lies in the external auxiliary condition. Bahiranga Nimitta alone. The three substantial causes, Upadan Karan, and internal auxiliary condition, Antrangi Nimitta, are the same in both. Should I continue, sir? Sir, you are on mute.
So we were discussing the natural right faith and the acquired right faith. Okay. So in both the types, the principle, the eternal principal cause, okay, is the firm conviction in the godhood of self. Okay. Nij Bhagwan Atma, your pure soul. Okay. So that is the principal cause. Okay. And experienced as one's own distinct from all external substances. And the internal instrumental cause, which is the destruction, subsidence come destruction, or mere subsidence, shayapsham or upsham, of the passions with endless bondage, anantanubandhi, anger, pride, deceit, greed, and false belief. Okay. So in both the type of right faith, the principal cause would be the eternal principal cause, that is its in nature, and instrumental cause could be different. Okay. But so the difference lies only in the instrumental cause, right? In one case, the right faith has been manifested on its own, okay, without any instrumental cause, and the acquired right faith, there is an instrumental cause present, okay. But right faith is right faith, there is no difference in that. That is what it wants to convey here. Then we had studied Nimit Upadan, okay. Nimit Upadan we have studied in the, I think, third sem, yeah. Not third sem, but second sem, yeah. Second semester we had a detailed study of Nimit Upadan. Nimit means instrumental cause and Upadan means principal cause. So now this is being discussed here in the context of right faith. So in the right faith, what could be right faith is the action. Now you have to identify what is the eternal principal cause. Then you have to identify what is the immediate prior modification momentary principal cause. Then you have to identify the eligibility of the moment, okay, and you have to identify the instrumental cause. Okay. So instrumental cause, again there are two types of instrumental cause. One is the prerak nimit, motivational instrumental cause. The other is udasin, indifferent instrumental cause. So do you remember this exercise? Any of you remember this exercise? We have done this elaborately in different examples, and I had given you homework also. So if anyone would like to try, you can just apply in this. The action taking place is right faith. So what could be the eternal principal cause? Aditi, I think you can try. What is the eternal principal cause in case of right faith?
So the true nature of the substance.
Yes, the soul, pure soul, because action has taken place in the pure soul. Right belief is an attribute of the soul itself. Okay, so eternal principal cause is the nature of the soul. Okay, now what would be the immediate prior modification? That is the effort that we have put in. Okay, now you are studying Parmagam honors, you are doing homework, you are doing assignments, you are contemplating. All these is your efforts. So immediate prior modification would be the efforts. Okay, and what would be the eligibility of the moment? The eligibility of the moment would be the action itself, the right belief that has manifested. Okay, now remains instrumental cause. So instrumental cause would be two. One is the motivational instrumental cause, and the other would be the
External.
indifferent instrumental cause. So what would be the motivational instrumental cause in case of manifestation of right belief?
Your own will to do something.
No, instrumental cause. So your own thing will not come. That will come in the principal cause. Instrumental cause would what will be an external entity, right?
हाँ. तत्समय की योग्यता.
No, that is again a part of your own upadan,
अच्छा.
So the external instrumental cause would be Dev Shastra Guru,
Hmm.
motivational, the preachings. These are all motivational instrumental cause. And what would be indifferent instrumental cause? Udasin Nimit.
Going to the temple or something like that. Any external activity which, if not that, it could have been anything else also.
So indifferent instrumental cause, four things are always there. The four substances, medium of motion, medium of rest, then space and time. These are always there. And apart from that, in the case of right belief, manifestation of right belief, what could be an indifferent instrumental cause? The scriptures, right? The scriptures, the temple is also we can consider in that only because it is not motivational. Temple is also an indifferent instrumental cause. So this way you have to find out. So now it is being discussed here that the eternal principal cause, here it is written as substantial, but we will change it to principal. So today Darshit is not there. You will be able to correct? Okay. So you can remove the word. This means that in that paragraph, you can remove the word eternal, substantial की जगह principal. Eternal principal cause that determines the nature. Okay. Is the soul itself or its attribute of faith. So you just cancel substantial and write principal everywhere you do it. Wherever substantial comes, you can put it as principal. Okay. And in the second part, point number 2, the immediate substantial cause is written. So you can cancel immediate substantial. You can write the momentary principal cause number 1. Okay. So that is immediate prior modification. Okay. So you can write as immediate prior modification, that is Shanik Upadan number 1. Okay. So
So this one, right? Immediate.
immediate prior modification cause number 1, Shanik Upadan number 1, that determines the method or process. Okay. So reading the scriptures and all that efforts that we have put is the soul's self-directed effort. Okay. Atma Mukhi Purshat. In the immediately preceding moment that eliminates itself but leads to the action in the next moment. Okay. So this is the effort that we have put in. Now what would be the eligibility of the moment? Okay. So the immediate momentary principle cause number 2. Okay. So that would be the
Here you want me to put immediate?
no, you cancel immediate. You write down there the eligibility of the moment.
So you said momentary principle, right?
Uh, 1 minute. So you can write down the momentary principal cause number 2, bracket, it's already there, Shanik Upadan number 2, that determines the time of action is the eligibility of that moment. Readiness or suitability of the action to happen, you cancel everything. You just write that determines the time, not timing, the time of the action is the eligibility of that moment. That's all. Cancel everything. Eligibility of that moment. Done? Yeah, cancel everything. So now 2 paragraphs are missing, so that we have to, I have said in the group, 2 paragraphs that we can read from the group itself. Uh, When, with the help of the above principal causes, the inward looking aspirant generates the activity of right belief. So action performed is right belief. Then as an instrumental cause, the related karmic subsidence, upsham, subsidential cum destructional, sarpsham, or destructional, shaik, forms the internal instrumental cause. Okay. So this is internal. If in the previous life guidance was received externally as an instrumental cause, it is called natural right belief. If received in this life through external guidance, it is called acquired right belief. Okay. So these 2 paragraphs, although it is a repetition, but we will add to it. Now the conclusion. In this way, the only difference between Nisargaj and Adhigamaj, natural and acquired right belief, lies in the external. Now you cancel auxiliary condition and write external instrumental cause. External instrumental cause. Yes. So there is lies in the external instrumental cause alone. The 3 principal causes, okay, Upadan Karan, and the internal instrumental cause are same in both. Okay. Same in both means natural right belief or acquired right belief. The instrumental cause would be the same and the principal cause also would be the same. Okay. So there is hardly any difference. So with this, we end this topic.
But this I need to change, no, to internal instrumental cause.
The 3 substantial की जगह principal लिख दीजिए only. The 3 principal causes and the internal instrumental cause are the same in both. Instead of auxiliary condition, you have to write instrumental cause. Yes, correct. Are the same in both. So now we are going to read about the 7 real entities, Tattvarth, 7 fundamental elements. Okay. So we have done 7 fundamental elements many a times. So I will not be explaining very much, but nevertheless, we will read it out. Okay. So who else will read? Priyanka ji, you read only. Are you reading? Subha ji? Unmute yourself. We could not. You have to unmute yourself. Okay, Jinali, you only read. I think they are not.
Jason, sir, did you ask me to read?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, sir. Can I read?
Yes, yes. The
Sorry,
7
sir.
real entities, from there only you have to read. Yes.
The 7 real entities, Tattvarth Sutra, Tattvartha. In the second sutra, faith in the real nature of reality, Tattvarth, Shraddhan was referred as a right place. Therefore, it is quite natural for the question to arise, how many types of real entities Tattva are there, and what are they? In response to the question, it is stated that soul, non-soul, influx, bondage, stoppage, shedding, and liberation, these are the seven fundamental realities, tattvas.
Okay,
Although,
what we can do here is that these 7 fundamentals you read as a homework. Okay, it is self-explanatory. I will just summarize these 7 fundamentals. Okay, so 7 fundamentals name are soul, non-soul, influx, bondage, stoppage, dissociation, liberation. Okay, so these are the 7 fundamentals. Now, what is a soul? Okay, so soul is the entity whose primary function is just to know. Okay, who has got knowledge as an attribute and is just to know. So knowledge and perception are the two characteristics of a soul. Okay, what is known soul? All substances such as matter which are devoid of the nature of knowledge and perception and are distinct from the soul are called non-soul elements. So in non-soul elements, it will not be only matter, but matter, medium of rest, medium of motion, then space, time, and all the souls apart from me will fall into this non-soul category. The third is the influx. Okay, so influx will have again 2 divisions, one from the soul point of view and one from the non-soul point of view. So what would be from the soul point of view? So from the soul point of view would be the psychic part. Okay, bhavasrav, dravyasrav, then bhavband, like that. So psychic influx is the manifestation of the delusion, attachments and aversion is called psychic influx, and material influx is the actual inflow of karmas. Okay, actual inflow of karmas is the material influx. Now what is psychic bondage? So the dispositions of delusion, attachment and aversions that were because of the influx, if you indulge in that, then it is called psychic bondage. Okay, and the karmas that come and get attached with the soul are called material bondage. Now stoppage. So what is psychic stoppage? So psychic stoppage is the when the soul takes shelter in itself, then the pure manifestation manifest. And when there is a pure manifestation being manifested, automatically the delusion, attachments and aversion does not arise, and that is called stoppage. Okay, so stoppage of delusion, attachments and aversion is the psychic stoppage. And what is the material stoppage? Though the karmas that were coming, now they have stopped coming, so that is called material stoppage. Then we have dissociation, psychic dissociation. So the purity that has been manifested in the stoppage element, that purity goes on increasing as you put in more efforts, as you practice discriminative knowledge. So that purity keeps on increasing, and on the other hand, the impurities keeps on decreasing. So this is called dissociation of bondage. Okay, this is psychic dissociation. And what is the material dissociation? The karmas which were bound earlier, that is getting offloaded from the soul space, that is called material dissociation of bondage. Okay, so without giving fruits, the karmas are getting dissociated, so that is called material dissociation. Now liberation, psychic liberation is the manifestation of 100% purity. Okay, the purity that originated in stoppage element, it further increase in purity in the dissociation stage, and complete purity is psychic liberation and destruction of all kinds of karmas, material karma, psychic karma, and the quasi karma. All sorts of karma, destruction of all sorts of karma is material liberation. Okay, so these are the 7 fundamentals. Now, in these 7 fundamentals, you have to identify what is worth knowing, what is worth adapting, and what is worth renouncing. You know, He Gnei Upade. Can anyone try? If you remember, we have done this many a times and I've given you homework also. So this is just a revision.
Yeah, I can try.
Yeah, you try. So,
Jeev is Jeev is worth knowing.
so first, in the first place, all the 7 fundamentals are worth knowing, because unless and until we know the nature of each elements, how can we discriminate whether it is worth adapting or worth renouncing, right? So knowing all the 7 fundamentals would be the first step. The second step would be soul. Now you have to, I'll just elaborate a bit. In terms of worth adapting, there are 2 ways. One is worth taking shelter in, and the other is worth manifesting. Okay, so soul is something worth taking shelter in.
Worth taking shelter in.
Okay, soul is the only element.
Taking shelter, what is that? You
Hey.
say in Hindi?
Hindi, आश्रय करने योग्य उपाधि.
Yes, please. Okay.
आश्रय करने योग्य उपाधि. Okay, worth taking shelter in, that is soul. Non-soul, yeah, Sashikala ji, you say, what is non-soul?
What you asked? I could not hear.
Among the three things we have to decide,
Yeah,
right? He Gne Upade. So non-soul is what?
we have to leave it.
No, non-soul is just Gne. You just know it.
Know it, no?
Yes,
knowing.
just
No.
knowing, just knowing.
Sir, he means leaving, no? That I
Yes,
want to
renouncing.
know.
He
That
means
English and
renouncing.
he is leaving.
Yeah, living
Yeah.
or renouncing. But
For
since
knowing when what is hey, no.
only you can know. Only
No.
you have to know it. Okay.
Know it is
Either
that
we are not adapting it also, and we are not renouncing it also.
Yeah,
Only
knowing
just
it.
worth knowing. Worth
Not
knowing.
knowing. And
Okay.
Pap Punya is no.
No. We will not come into Pap Punya because we are discussing only 7 fundamentals now.
Okay,
So,
okay. Yes.
So now influx and bondage. Aditi again.
Influx is worth knowing. Bondage is worth leaving.
No, influx is also worth.
Influx
renouncing.
and
Worth
bondage both
renouncing.
are worth leaving.
Yes, both are worth living or renouncing. Okay.
And
Stoppage?
worth adapting.
Yes, manifesting.
Worth
Okay.
manifesting.
And Nirjara?
Also worth
Dissociation?
manifesting.
Yeah, worth manifesting. So stoppage and dissociation are partially worth manifesting, and liberation is completely worth manifesting. Okay. So this is the 7 fundamentals. So this was a good revision. So now we'll come on to the page number 28. There is further discussion on this, and that we will just read through. Okay. So page number 28. Aditi, you read.
In the context of chapters of Samaysar, the following aspect of Samaysar Anushilan is noteworthy. Therefore, here an examination of the appropriateness of the arrangement of chapters in Samaysar is essential. In this reference, guidance is obtained from Atmakhyati. In Atmakhyati commentary, Acharya Amrit Chandra has presented it in the form of drama. On the stage of the drama, pairs play a significant role. In the selection of its chapters, pairs have also been considered. Examples: Jeev Ajeev, Karta Karma, Punya Pap, Ashrav Samvar, and Bandh Moksh. Since there are 9 fundamental elements, it was necessary for one of them to remain without a pair. Therefore, the Tattva of Nirjara has remained explicit, and the section of Sarva Vishuddha Jnana is in any case independent. Although the principle of the doer deed, Karta Karma, and Sarva Vishuddha Gyan, absolute pure knowledge, are not a part of the 9 fundamental elements, there is widespread ignorance among the general public regarding them. Without eliminating this ignorance, it is not possible to understand the nature of self, Atma Tattva, correctly. Therefore, these topics have also been given a place in Samayasar. Why has the section of Karta Karma, doer and deed, been placed immediately after the section on Jeev Ajeev? This question naturally arises. The misconception about doer and deed is another form of misunderstanding about the relationship between Jeev Ajeev itself, because considering a Jeev as the doer, enjoyer of the soul, or the Jeev as the doer or the inanimate is essentially a confusion regarding the relation between Jeev Ajeev. For this reason, it has been placed immediately after the section on Jeev Ajeev. Among these, the Jeev Tattva is worth of faith, knowledge, and contemplation. The Ajeev Tattvarth is only to be known, nay. Ashrav and Bandh are to be rejected, hey, and since Punya and Pap are forms of Ashrav and Bandh, they are to be rejected. Samvar and Nirjara, from the standpoint of their manifestation, are partially adoptable. Ekdasha Upadhyay. In this way, the
Moksha.
and moksha is entirely adoptable. Sarvadesh Upadhyay. In this way, this is the general nature of 7 or 9 tattvarths. The detail or specific forms of will appear appropriately in the section ahead.
So now I have just shared in the group. You can refer to that pages. So 28 page we have complete. So from 29 we will again follow. 29, 30, 30 like that. So now we are going to understand the 4 modes of explanation. Nikshep, okay? Praman, Nai, Nikshep. These are the 3 tools for understanding the 7 fundamentals, okay? So Tattvat Sutra, the main theme is about the 7 fundamentals, and to know 7 fundamentals, they have used these tools, okay? So the first set of tools is Praman, Nai and Nikshep, okay? So Praman and Nai would be the next topic. Now we are understanding what is Nikshep. Nikshep means explanation, okay? Nikshep means presentation, okay? So this is very interesting discussion. So let's continue with this. I am reading only because there is only 15 minutes left. So let me finish this one at least. Yes, okay. The upcoming aphorism begins the discussion of the 4 modes of explanation called nikshepas, clarifying how one should understand the aforementioned 7 fundamental principles, okay, tattvas, such as soul and the 3 jewels, Ratnatraya, right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct, okay. So these 4 modes of explanation are used to explain the 7 fundamental principles and the 3 jewels, right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. According to the doctrines of valid knowledge, Praman Gyan. Now what is this Praman Gyan or valid knowledge? The comprehensive knowledge, okay. So there are in fact 2 tools, Praman and Nai. Praman is comprehensive knowledge or valid knowledge. A better word would be comprehensive knowledge, because that word expresses the true meaning. Comprehensive. Okay. You can write down, instead of valid, you can write comprehensive knowledge. So in the Praman Gyan, comprehensive knowledge, you know what happens? You are knowing the substance,
Can you
attributes.
repeat the change? I can just do it.
So valid would be comprehensive everywhere. According to the doctrines of valid knowledge, right? So valid would be comprehensive. You can change that. Comprehensive knowledge. Valid is also okay, but comprehensive is a better word. So comprehensive. Okay, comprehensive means you are not highlighting any particular part, but you are looking at all the parts in general. Okay, so you're looking at the substance, you are looking at the attributes, you are looking at the modification. Now, if you highlight only the substance part, then it becomes a point of view. Okay, if you highlight only modification, so that is again a point of view. Okay, so in the point of view, one part is highlighted, other parts are ignored. Okay, it has not been eradicated, it's only ignored at that point of time. So we have only two tools for understanding anything. Okay, and these two tools named are, one is comprehensive knowledge, the overall knowledge, and one is point of view. So now supposing I will give you an example. If you enter an auditorium, okay, with the video camera, you capture the whole scenario at a glance. This is called comprehensive knowledge. Okay, now you are focusing the video camera only on the orator, the speaker, right? So this is what it is. This then, Aditi, what we will call this? We are focusing on the speaker only. Camera is focusing on the speaker.
So partial only, it's a viewpoint.
It's a viewpoint. Very good. Now the camera, we are shifting that focus from the speaker towards the audience. Okay. So what would it be?
Again, viewpoint.
Viewpoint.
Very good. Viewpoint. Okay. And then again you come back to the main door and you see the overall scenario where you could see the speaker also, audience also, everything together. Then it is called comprehensive knowledge. So you understood what is
So that is Praman, right?
Yeah, that is Praman. That is Praman. That is called the right knowledge also. Okay. Right knowledge, Praman, valid knowledge, comprehensive knowledge, whatever you can say. But comprehensive knowledge suits the best because it is giving you an overview of the whole thing, right? It is not highlighting any particular part. Okay. So now we can say that if we sum up all the viewpoints, we can get the comprehensive knowledge, right? So we apply one viewpoint to know the substance, we apply one viewpoint to know the modification. Okay, so all these viewpoints together is comprehensive knowledge. So we can say that viewpoint is only a part of the comprehensive knowledge and not the total comprehensive knowledge. Okay, so viewpoint is only a part of the comprehensive knowledge. 1 minute, I'll just have to open the doorbell. Okay, no, it's somebody's there. Okay, fine. So, so viewpoint is just a part of comprehensive knowledge, and comprehensive knowledge is the total knowledge. Okay, so now you have understood what is Praman, comprehensive knowledge, what is viewpoint. Now we will read again here. According to the doctrines of comprehensive knowledge and viewpoints, the term Nikshep refers to the conventionally accepted modes of explanation in the world. Okay. So to communicate in the world, the whatever you use is called the explanation, modes of explanation. In Hindi, it is called Nikshep. Okay. So Nikshep is nothing but a mode of explanation. So there are 4 modes of explanation. Now let's see the.
So you could say Vyavhar point of view.
No, this is not Vyavhar point of view. This is the what are the accepted modes of explanation. Okay. Nikshep is the accepted modes of explanation, and while you are explaining, you use the conventional point of view. Okay. So Nikshep means accepted modes of explanation, and the language used is called conventional viewpoint. Okay. The aphorism that introduces the modes of explanation is as follows. Nam, Sthapna, Dravya, Bhavatsa, Tanyasa. The exposition or presentation, okay? The exposition or presentation of the 3 jewels and the 7 or 9 fundamental elements is done through these 4 nikshepes. Name, representation or installation, that is Sthapna, then substance, Dravya, and inner state or mode, that is Bhav Nikshep. Okay. So these 4 also serve as the basis to facilitate worldly conventional matters. Lok Vyavhar, how you run the world, that is through these 4 modes of explanation. The general nature of the modes of explanation is as follows. Assigning a name to a place, person, or object without regard to its qualities or faults is called designation by name. Okay. So the explanation is given below. Number 1. To explain by assigning names. Examples are often given such as a person named Sundarlal, who is actually unattractive. Okay. But he is being named as Sundarlal. Okay. So when we explain the name, designation by name, okay, designation by name, when we are explaining, we don't consider the qualities of that object or person. Okay, it is just the name that is being given. So Sundarlal may not be Sundar, may not be beautiful, but its name could be Sundarlal. A person who is very fearful, he could be named as Mahavir. Mahavir. Okay. So, so this name has got no connection with its meaning. Okay. It is just that we are giving name to a person or an object. Or a poor man named Dhanpal. So Dhanpal means very rich, but he is poor. But still he could be named as Dhanpal. Or an ordinary person named Rajaram. Raja. He is not king, he is an ordinary person, but he is just babe. So these are instances of Nam Nikshep. Although these examples are not incorrect, they can give the impression that something false is being stated deliberately. However, in the context of Nam Nikshep, it is not necessary that Sundarlal must be unattractive. He could very well be handsome too. The fact is that from the perspective of Nam Nikshep, the naming of a person, place, or object is done without any consideration of qualities or faults. Therefore, the name Sundarlal can be given to either an unattractive or a handsome person. The point is simply this, that for worldly interaction to function, it is necessary for every place, person, or object to have a name. Okay. Without name, we cannot do worldly interaction. Okay. When a place, object, or person is referred to by a particular name without considering any qualities or faults, that name becomes established through Nam Nikshep. The point is that the principle of as the name, so the quality does not apply in Nam Nikshep, because a king names his son Rajkumar and a servant also names his son Rajkumar, not Sevak Kumar. So the name has got no bearing with the quality or the faults of the object or the person. Okay, this is called Nam Nikshep. Simply a name is given for worldly interaction and for the smooth functioning of the conventional life. Now the second one. Okay, second one is called Sthapna Nikshep. Okay, Sthapna Nikshep. Sthapna Nikshep means representation or installation. Okay, establishing the representation of one thing in another, such as saying this is that, is known as designation by representation. Now the explanation is given in the next page. Number 2, in Sthapna Nikshep. So this 3, 4, there is a correction. Is 3, 4 is A and B. You can write down 3, 4. You can cut down 3 and 4, and you can write it as small a and small b. In Sthapna Nikshep, for the sake of worldly interaction, one person or object is symbolically established in another. This establishment is of two types. The first one, identical form establishment. Then the second one, non-identical form establishment, A and B. First, A is being explained. Installing a marble idol in the form of Bhagwan Mahavir and establishing the presence of Bhagwan Mahavir within it is called identical form establishment. So, what we do? We take one marble idol. We call a marble idol from Jaipur, because Jaipur is the place where all the marbles are being uh, uh, manufactured there. Okay, because there is a localization of industry. There are artists available who can carve out such a nice idol of a Tirthankar. Okay, so so these are of two types. One is identical form establishment. So installing a marble idol, okay, and in the form of Bhagwan Mahavir by the grand festival of consecration, Panch Kalyanak, okay. So we do Panch Kalyanak Pratishtha. So in the Panch Kalyanak Pratishtha, grand festival of consecration, celebrating the 5 auspicious events, okay, called 5 Kalyanaks, okay. So by that event, we are establishing the Bhagwan Mahavir into that idol. So now that idol, after the consecration, that idol itself is as good as Bhagwan Mahavir. Okay. So this is called identical form establishment. Okay. The grand festival of consecration celebrating the 5 auspicious events in the life of a Tirthankar, okay, held in the Jain community are the most excellent examples of identical form of establishment. Now the B part, non-identical form. In a game of chess, imagining an elephant, camel or horse in a simple, formless stone pieces is an example of non-identical form establishment. So elephant is not the shape of an elephant, it's just a small thing, small stone piece. Okay, it is called elephant. Then another piece of different nature would be called a camel, then another would be called a horse. Okay, so these are the examples of non-identical form establishment. When one person or object is symbolically established in another, that object gains the honor or status of the one established in it. The fundamental difference between Nam Nikshep and Sthapna Nikshep is that in Nam Nikshep there is no conduct of reverence or worship, whereas in Sthapna Nikshep such conduct does exist. Any consecrated idol is worshipped just as the person is, in whom the presence has been symbolically established. Okay, so in our temple The idol of Bhagwan Mahavir is as good as a live Mahavir. Okay? Because of Sthapna Nikshep. Now the third, Dravya Nikshep. Okay? So third and fourth is given together in the first explanation, but we are referring it here on page number 31 differently. Okay? Referring to something in the present, primarily based on its past or future state, is called Dravya Nikshep. Substance explanation. Okay. For example, calling a man a worshipper, pujari, in the present because he performed worship in the past, or referring to a prince as a king in the present because he will become a king in the future. These are examples of Dravya Nikshep. Okay. So all the prince is not a king now. He is the son of a king. But we call him a king just because he is going to become a king in the future. Okay. So this is called Dravya Nikshep. Now what is Bhav Nikshep? The last one. Referring to someone exactly as they are in the present, based solely on their current state, is called Bhav Nikshep. For example, calling a person a pujari while they are actually engaged in worship is an instant of Bhav Nikshep. So the difference between Dravya Nikshep and Bhav Nikshep is, in Dravya Nikshep we were calling that person a pujari because he performed worship in the past. But here he is performing worship in the present and he is being called a pujari. Okay. So this is called Bhav Nikshep. So we will stop here. There are further explanations on this, and we will continue it in the next class. So today we have just uh, learned about the definition of 4 modes of explanation. Okay. In the next class, we will further elaborate on those explanations, and then we will move on to the other topics like Praman and Nay. Okay. Comprehensive knowledge and point of view. You have to just read through once before coming to the class in the next class, and I will be sharing few more pages in the next few days. So the next 2 class study material is being readied now. So I have shared 5 pages just now, out of which we read almost 1.5 page. Okay. So other pages would be shared in due course, and in the next class we will continue from here. If you have any questions, you can ask just now. Otherwise, we will close for the day. So everyone should join before 9. 9 the class starts. Okay. So you should join 8:55. I always join 5-10 minutes earlier only. So that you can also join. So we can, while we start the class, I see only 2%. And then I get involved in the class because I have to read. There is no one to share, So then I don't look at how many have joined later on. Okay. So most of you join after 5-10 minutes, but it would be a good practice to join the class before it starts, That's as a respect to Jinwani. Okay. Not to me, but Jinwani. Okay. So these are some of the best practices. These small things will increase your internal purity. And if the internal purity increases, then you will be able to understand these concepts in the right sense. And if you apply it, once you understand it, you automatically apply in your life. And then, of course, you become happy. Okay. So everything is interconnected. So I would request that you all join before time. Okay. We are only conducting class twice a week. And after 5 years are over, nobody would follow up with you, right? But since you are doing the course, do it wholeheartedly. Okay. Don't do it just in a half-hearted manner. Sometimes you join, sometimes you don't join. Then you don't do the homework on time. I don't like all these things. When you are doing it, do it properly. Okay. This will increase your internal purity. Okay. So this is what you should practice. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है। उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है। उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को